Hello, everybody. I am yet again Price McKinney, simply put. And as always, I want to thank you for tuning in and listening. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, simply put, by Price McKinney. YouTube on Tuesdays, simply put, podcast with your boy, Price McKinney. Look, so first off, before I go another further, thank all of you. Thank all of you for your encouragements, for your support, um, constructive criticism, all of the above. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for listening because, again, as I've said before, without you, there is no me. So I've been out for a while. I had to reboot. My body was taking a beating just from working the hours I've been working and fitness in. It is definitely a sacrifice. It's one that I'm learning on the fly, and it's comes with challenges. However, nonetheless, this is a gift, and I've got to do what I got to do. So again, thank each and every one of you. So uh, this is a different topic that I'd planned to do, but I'm gonna do it. It just is what it is. And I struggle with this. I ain't got no lie to tell you. Just get that out of the way. This is an area that your boy. I give myself a D minus on the grade scale. I'm gonna go with a D minus. Yeah, I'm not all the way to an F. I ain't too far from it. Made plenty of them in school, so it's normal. However, this is a challenge. Accept what's in front of you, and I know that's easier said than done. Uh, but accept what's in front of you. What do I mean by that? So if you have a person that you've already made the decision and you've made the choice that this is who I'm going to be with. And you all are taking the necessary steps. You're putting in the work. You're having communication, conversation. You're compromising and sacrificing your time and other things to make the relationship work. You're building, you're growing, you're developing, and the things that happen, good and bad, and the bad things are the things whereby your relationship becomes tested. You become tested within the relationship and in dealing with that person, and vice versa. So you've had a couple of battles, you've had a couple of spats, all right, whatever. However, you've made the decision. You know what? I'm gonna rock with this person. We're gonna ride this thing out. So I said that to say this. This is your person. This is your partner. So accept what's in front of you. Why is that so difficult? Because for most of us, I myself included, we have spent so much time working and sorting through the pain, the hurt, the issues, the trauma from previous relationships. When this person comes and all they are for you and to you is nice, polite, and kind. They're there, they're available. All of the boxes might not check completely off. You might just have the downstroke and you're trying to go back up, but it just ain't there yet. For a couple of categories, that is okay because you're not going to find perfection. You might get close to it in your own mind. You might even think that you're perfect. Ma'am, sir, you're not. As great and grand as I think I am at times, player, no, that ain't what this is. Um, but you, they're nice, they're kind, they're polite, and for the most part, you're getting treated right. You're getting treated the way you want to be treated. Now, granted, I'm not in a relationship, but I still find myself subconsciously when people do things just out of nowhere um, for me, it just being nice, nothing, no holds barred, no extras. Just I have a hard time accepting that. And the reason why, and I've had to check it, and I just did today, which is why I'm doing this video. I was in a conversation with somebody, and I just before I even thought about it, I said, why is it hard for you to accept that that person is kind to you? And then I got convicted because I deal with the same thing. And what I've discovered within that, a lot of people have an issue with that because you've not quite let go of what has hurt you or what has harmed you or what has caused you pain in some area. So how that shows up is when somebody does something for you without an ulterior motive, without any expectations, they're just being who they are. Oh, you ain't got to do all that. And that person is looking at you like you got 28 heads because in their mind what they did is they didn't even scratch the surface. This is just who they are. And understand this clearly. If that's who that person naturally is, right? They're a giver. They're kind. They're nice. They're polite. If that's who they naturally are, that will sustain itself. It will continue. It will be consistent. If it's not, and they're giving you the representative, that part of that equation is going to run out sooner than later because they're not going to be able to hold up, putting that face on and doing what they do just to get you to the point where they need and want you to be. That's going to run out. So give yourself time. And I say that all the time. Give yourself time, drive with the emergency brake on. So you're only going so fast. So you see what it is that you need to see within yourself and within that person so you can make a wise, rational, non-emotional decision whether I need to continue with this person or I need to gracefully tap out. However, again, if you have chosen this person as your person, you all are cool, you're kicking it, everything's going good. There's not enough on the table for you to just, hey, yeah, I just can't do this. Just stick with it. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a hurry. Just work the process. Take your time with it. Take your time with yourself. Give yourself patience. Give that other person patience. And if they are being what you need them to be, doing what you need them to do, what is the difficulty in you accepting them for who they are? Now, if maybe you need to back up and punt and just hear me and figure out if this is what I really want. Maybe you 3, 6 months, 7 months in, you're starting to question yourself, not because of anything that they've done wrong, but you just seeing there's just something that's just not quite here. That's just not quite doing it for me. Deal with it because what's not fair to the other person is they're giving you themselves, and that's just who, and they're being open to you, and then all of a sudden you become reserved, you start withdrawing, you start cutting back, you stop answering calls, you stop spending less time. They're going to notice this, right? So make sure you're being honest and true to yourself that if there's something just not quite right and you can't figure it out, you need to address that. You need to deal with it within yourself. You need to deal with it with that person. However, if that person is just naturally being themselves and you got a person that's a giver. Now, if the person you're dealing with is selfish and stingy, you ain't got to worry about none of what I've just said because none of this applies. But if it is, ask yourself why is it so? Because it's even for givers such as myself, it's natural for us to give. It's very difficult for us to receive. And there comes a point where you may have to, and hear me clearly, You may have to train yourself how to receive because it's so unnatural for you. And I know that sounds crazy, but that is a real thing. You may have to literally, this is a learned behavior for a person that gives, and typically for those people, your receiving is completely lopsided. Everything is what you do versus what you get. And you hear people say, well, you get what you give. To a degree. Not in all cases, because sometimes people, they're given to the other person is it's not even a comparison. Now, I'm not saying to keep tabs or keep track, but I'm not saying at all. What I am saying is be wise with that. Keep your eyes open and pay attention, because if this consistency continues, that being you're giving, and you're not receiving anything, there's a problem somewhere. You got to figure out if this is the right person for you, or if there's something that's in them that they need to figure out as it relates to why it's difficult for them to give, or whatever the case may be. Open communication is the key. I don't care what the issue is, what the situation is, good, bad, any different, the dash in between. Communication is the key. So if you have that, if that's something that you're dealing with, face it, have a conversation, and deal with it. But if you have somebody that is willingly giving, kind, polite, considerate, and you just you ain't got to do all that. No, you ain't got to do that. No, you ain't got to do that. You didn't have to. I know that I didn't have to. That's common sense. You honestly didn't have to tell me that. However, this is who I am. So for the person that is, you have difficulty receiving for whatever reason, figure out why. And if that person is somebody, again, this is the person you've chosen. And this applies even if you're already in a relationship. And you're reluctant and hesitant to take because of how you give. Be okay with being a receiver. Be okay with taking gifts. Be okay with accepting kindness from that person. As long as you know that person's heart is genuine and in the right place, and you're not picking up on any ulterior motives or no extras, just roll with it. Why are we afraid? Why? And I'm done. Ouch. Before I even say this, why are we afraid to accept and receive what we actually want anyway? Food for thought. Chew on it. And trust me, I don't like me right now, but it is what it is. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, simply put, by Price McKinney. YouTube on Tuesdays. Like, subscribe, watch a video, leave a comment. Simply Put Podcast with your boy, Price McKinney. I want to thank you for listening. I'm not an expert. I just know what I know. And I promise you, I'll see you soon.